welcome to On a Friday. My name is Andrew, and I'm here with my co-host Matt.
Hello.
Today we are going to be recording an episode about Sour by Olivia Rodrigo,
The
released
biggest
in May.
album.
Huh?
The biggest album.
Biggest? What are you?
Like
What the?
everywhere right
What?
now.
What are you talking about? I have no.
This album's freaking huge
If
right
it was
now.
so big, why didn't I know about it?
You did know about it.
I didn't know anything about it before
I
I
told
listened
you
to
about
it.
it. I told you we were listening to it and you were like, oh yeah, that one.
Hey, listen. I don't listen to things where kids talk about their driver's license. Okay.
Ooh,
It exists.
it does exist.
Yes. All right. Did what happened? What happened in your life so far? Do you want to talk about that? Well,
My life?
I
Yeah.
think we'll talk. I think we'll talk about that. Let's talk about it.
Okay, Jesus. So, over this past weekend, I actually took a trip down to the beach. That was a good time. Went down to Destin, Florida to see some friends, a family I befriended from Ohio a couple years back on the family beach trip. And they actually heard about this podcast from me promoting it places, so they might be listening. If so, shout out to y'all.
You
What's
guys are
up?
scary.
You guys are not scary. No, it's not.
Scary
It's
to
not
me.
accurate. Okay. And any audience is scary to Andrew.
I love
Yes.
social anxiety.
Oh, then you're gonna love this album. In which case, so yeah, so went down to the beach, listened to a lot of Jimmy Buffett because that's just what I do when I'm at the beach. I'm in a Jimmy Buffett mood. I've listened to a 4 hour compilation album, 4.5 hour compilation album throughout the days of being down there. So just a lot of trop rock in my back pocket for that. What about you? What have you been up to since the last
Well,
episode?
what have I been up to? I had my birthday.
What?
Yeah, I had my birthday between
I
the time
missed
of
it?
recording. Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Don't
Jesus.
don't worry about it. You're out. And I knew that. No, it was on the 12th.
Oh,
Yeah, I am old, certified old. Other than that, I really didn't do much, even on my birthday.
did you drink?
I'll celebrate a little bit probably after I like get some stuff done with some alcohol, probably later today.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, that's all so far.
You can waste away again in Margaritaville.
I could go for a margarita right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We good? Should we? Let's. You know what? Let's talk about the news.
Yes.
I'll go first since what I have is mostly rapid fire.
Okay.
Eve Toomer released Jackie. Robert Smith says the Cure's next album is going to be their last.
Hmm.
New Alternative
Sure.
40s. Number one song this week is The Church's Song, which I haven't listened to yet.
It's good.
Damon Albarn of Blur and Gorillaz signs to Transgressive Records for a new album. Black Country New Road announces a new North America tour for early 2022. That is all I have. Matt?
Yeah. Okay. I have some stuff. Kanye West turned 44 and the world kept turning. And more importantly, Tom Jones turned 81 and everyone loves Tom Jones.
It's not unusual.
It's not unusual. It's not unusual to turn 81. Apple Music now has support for Dolby Atmos, which to my knowledge is just like surround sound but better. I
How do you
don't
get better than surround sound?
I don't know. I don't know. I just people were making a big deal about this when it was announced, and like I didn't know what it meant, and that's as
Dolby
much as I could gather.
Atmos?
Dolby
Dolby Atmos,
Atmos,
I believe, is surround sound. But I might be wrong. Don't quote
but
me on that.
better,
But better. I don't know about that.
but better.
I need to listen with my ears. Dolby, if you're listening, I don't believe you until I hear it with my
Oh,
ears.
oh, he's challenging you.
I'm challenging a major corporation that will probably never see this. Or maybe they will. Who knows?
There was a leak of an alternate verse from the song "Makeup" by Jason Derulo, where instead of Ava Max on one of the verses, it had Lauren Jareggi, formerly of Fifth Harmony, and the lyrics were also different. I listened to the verse; it's really good. I'm a fan of both artists, Ava Max and Lauren Jareggi. Not really a fan of Jason Derulo, so I don't really like the song as a whole. But after hearing Lauren's verse, it freaking slaps. I would probably listen to the song regularly in spite of Jason Derulo being on it if it had Lauren's verse on it. It's that good.
Wait, was it a leak? Was it a
Yes,
demo?
her verse leaked. I don't know how, but
Are you
yeah, they
saying
didn't.
it was just that and not
Her
like nothing
vocals on the
else?
song. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Most likely, in most cases, I would think that the whole entire track would be leaked whenever something like that happens. Sounds like
Well,
a
I'm sure
demo
it's
potentially.
well, I'm sure it's not that different from like the original track, but instead of Ava Max's verse, it's Lauren Jaregi's verse.
Yeah,
So you could
musicians
probably
are
just
strange.
splice it in there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even like I guess I kind of understand how music leaks happen, but I also kind of don't.
You have someone kind of close to the process, and there you go, like, hey, this is good. I'm gonna share it with my friends.
And somebody's not trustworthy.
I guess it's fun.
So, abstract YouTube sensation turned pop artist turned heavy metal artist Poppy released an EP out of nowhere this week called Eat, NXT soundtrack, featuring her long awaited song Eat that she performed at the Grammys premiere ceremony pre show. Now, we've discussed before her recent pro wrestling shenanigans and whether or not they're just a gimmick and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I understand what it was about because like she had appeared on like WWE NXT before to like perform songs, and it seemed like I don't know one of the female wrestling performers was like trying to start beef with her or whatever, and I think it was all just a gimmick to promote the release of this EP because it's called like the NXT soundtrack. So I think it's gonna be the songs from it are gonna be used as background background music like during like promos and stuff. So
Mm.
I think that's the deal with it. But yeah, I've listened to the EP. It's loud, but it's pretty good.
I
She leans into
see.
the screamo stuff more than her previous metal projects, but I still think it's pretty good. There's a new Kiss live album. Kiss is my favorite band. It's called Off the Soundboard Tokyo 2001, and it's the first in a series of quote unquote official bootlegs. So like I guess they were bootleg albums that they're like officially releasing now, and because it was bootleg, it sounds kind of bad, but it's fine. Dennis DeYoung, former lead vocalist and keyboardist of Styx, released his probably final album, 26 East Volume 2, continuing his collaborations with Jim Paterick from The Ides of March and Survivor. It's a good time. I like it.
His last album.
What? His last album? Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Why
probably
is he old?
he is old. He's in his 70s. He announced it because it's a volume two. So 26 East Volume 1 came out last year. I think he wasn't planning to do another album, but then he started writing stuff with Jim Paterick, and he was like, well, we have a lot of stuff here. But yeah, I think he says this is going to be his last album. I kind of believe him, but Styx is still releasing albums, so I don't know if he'll want to keep up the competition or what.
Eh.
Lorde announced a new album called Solar Power, along with the lead single of the same name. It is good, and I've never really been a big Lorde fan, but like this song's good. It's got kind of like a tropical vibe, which I didn't expect from her. And then Bo Burnham released a soundtrack for his recent comedy special Inside, so you can listen to the songs from that on streaming services now.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
That I remember that. I actually watched that one. It was pretty good. Also, just remembered something. Tyler the Creator announced a new album. I believe is called Call Me If You Get Lost. It's coming out next week.
does he include his phone number?
According to this tweet, no.
Well, then how are we gonna call him if we get lost?
Maybe he might be well. He'll be the new version of Where's Waldo. We won't know where he is.
No, no. Where's
You,
Tyler the Creator?
where's Tyler the Creator?
I wanna make like a photoshopped image. That's that. All right. Well, if that's all the news we got, do we want to jump into the album?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I it was my pick this week. I picked this. Andrew would probably never pick an album such as this one, but I saw the opportunity. It's big. It's recent, so I've been meaning to listen to it. So I thought I might as well. So Olivia Rodrigo is a Disney actress, known mainly for the Disney Plus show High School Musical, the series, which isn't redundant at all. And so her song Driver's License blew up in January for reasons we'll get into later, and suddenly she was just like the biggest pop artist in the world. It seemed like this is from Wikipedia. She was the first artist in history to debut their first two singles inside the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, and Sour, the first debut album in history to spawn two number one debuts on the chart. Sour opened atop the US Billboard 200 with the biggest first week of 2021 and reached number one in many other countries. And it broke the global Spotify record for the biggest opening week for an album by a female artist. And it's still number one on Spotify and number two on the Billboard 200. It's been out for almost a month. That's insane.
Dear God.
Yeah. When we were driving back from the beach, I was driving. My sister played this for me on during the drive, and that was the first time I heard it. But then she played it frickin' shuffled, which is not how you want to experience an album for the first time. But I'm still glad I have the memory of
Oh
listening
no,
to it
Shuffle.
for the first time in the car. So that was fun.
Shovel. I hope you got all the slow songs.
Oh, we'll get into it. Do we want to get into a track by track breakdown?
Yep. Let's
All
go
right.
order by order. Yes.
First song, Brutal. I really want to hear what you thought going into this, thinking it was a stereotypical pop album, only
It
to have it
was like a
start with hard rock.
Okay. It was like a worse the 1975 song People. The parallel park line was stupidly cheesy. And I did not like the way it sounded. Or was recorded.
I like it. I think it's the perfect like subversion of expectations. And the whole song is just teenage angst all wrapped up into like one song.
I feel like
And
this whole album is.
oh, for sure. You're right on the money. And I have good news for Olivia Rodrigo, and you can attest to this. Once you turn 20, all that teenage angst just goes away. No more
Or it
angst.
doesn't, and you go into emo.
No more angst. It's all gone. I'm not even a little bit anxious or fearful about the state of my life or the world. It just all disappeared.
Okay.
Yep, it's gone. There's no
Well,
more angst.
how does Modest Mouse exist then? They recorded one of their like most angsty albums when they were like
because
20.
because I'm kidding.
Oh, fuck. I can't feel sarcasm right now. Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I dig the hell out of the song. I love how it subverts your expectations of what the album's gonna be like right off the get go. Especially with how it starts with a freaking orchestral section. It's
I
it's like the perfect misdirection.
No, I think this first song is horribly misleading. Horribly misleading for the rest of the album.
Well, that's the point.
Oh.
I feel like that's the point.
I feel like if that was the point, I would if it led on the way that it started, I feel like maybe I would have enjoyed the album a little bit more. But that's just
I
me.
I think I agree, but again, I'll talk more about that later. But overall, I liked it anyway. But yeah, brutal starts off very heavy. It's excellent, and I think she even had to like fight to get the song to be allowed to be the opening track, because I think she was like, oh yeah, I want brutal to be the opening track, and everyone was like, really? And she was like, yeah, because yeah, it is misleading. It is completely different from the rest of the album.
If that is true, then I'll give props. I'll give props because
Yes.
that's one hell of a fucking move.
Yeah, honestly. Track two, Traitor. This one is heavy in the opposite way. This one is emotionally heavy.
You want to know what I wrote down? I wrote this. Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away. But girl, this sounds like it has been done before. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's funny. It's funny you say that. I feel like other songs on this album would fit that description a little better.
I would. I mean, yeah. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate. I feel like a bunch of those songs are like all those like acoustic arpeggiated things. It could
yeah,
definitely be applied to a couple other songs in this album.
yeah, and we'll get to it. But I think of those of the slower songs, this is one of the better ones, in my opinion. I really like it. So I'm sure you don't know, but I guess now is as good of a time as any to get into it. Do you know the drama behind this album, and particularly the song "Driver's License"?
I will say this. I feel like this entire album is just about one person. That's how I like
Oh,
to envision this.
oh, you are almost right on the money.
I
You
like to
are,
think I think it's funnier if I think it like that because it just means like this whole album is just spawned from like literally
but you
one
don't,
person.
but you don't know who.
I don't know who, and I don't even really care. I just think the idea of it's kind of funny, at least
Well,
in my head.
well, I'm going
But
to
go
tell you
on,
anyway, because
go
this is
on.
integral to understanding what's going on with this album.
Oh wait! There's another thing I said. It's like a
Yeah?
reverse Skater Boy.
Reverse Skater Boy. Okay, I guess. But yeah, so keep in mind this is all speculative, but probably true. So I mentioned that Olivia starred in High School Musical, the musical, the series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently she became romantically involved with her co-star on the show, Joshua Bassett. Now he has 2 years on her. When season one was filming, it was mid 2019, so she was 16 and he was 18. And not long after it released in November of that year, he turned 19. Now, it's rumored that because of their age difference, they agreed to not get too involved with each other until Olivia turned 18, which didn't happen until this past February. But then Joshua allegedly started dating Sabrina Carpenter, another Disney actress slash musician, who has 2 years on him, meaning she has 4 years on Olivia. So no, Joshua didn't cheat, but he still moved on from Olivia very quickly based on the timetable of when each relationship allegedly ended and began, and he broke the promise. So he's still a traitor. And that seems to be what this song and a lot of songs on the album are about. So you're kinda right on the money. And
Ooh,
that's honestly
gossip.
that yeah, gossip. That drama is probably why Driver's License blew up in the first place. But I think Traitor hits like the hardest of like all of the songs about that situation. It's a really emotional song. But now we're at track three, Driver's License, the first single, which came out in January. This song is gigantic.
Like the million songs before it. It's a breakup
Yes,
song.
yes, but
Also, I
mm,
wrote this, and we could be royal. Royal.
You you are getting so ahead of like the things I have to say about later songs. But yeah, definitely Lord vibes. Definitely Taylor Swift vibes. I mean, God, she's freaking so into Taylor Swift, and like it shows on certain songs. But yeah, this song, something about this song was just so elevated above other like pop breakup songs.
Eh.
Well, in terms of its popularity, at least.
Okay, it's the most recent pop breakup song, I would say.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna read from Wikipedia again.
Good.
It broke the Spotify record for the most single day streams for a non holiday song, had the biggest first week ever for a song on Spotify and Amazon Music, topped the US Billboard Top 100 for 8 weeks, becoming the longest running number one for a debut single, and making Olivia the youngest artist ever to debut atop the chart. Because keep in mind, she was still 17 when it released. This child became the biggest artist in the world during a pandemic by writing about her high school age drama.
As it turns out, adults don't grow up. They only stay 18.
Yeah,
Who would have known?
yeah, and that's this whole album. Like that's literally this whole album is that high school age drama, and like I think that's why people are really into it. Like this isn't my favorite song on the album. I honestly like the Saturday Night Live version she did on there a couple weeks ago better. But the thing is, we wouldn't have an album if not for this song. And like the bridge of the song, oh my god, it's crazy good. And like I can relate to it because I go on like so many nighttime drives alone just to like feel something. And driving past places that remind me of people I was romantically interested in, it's awful. It's the worst. The song's a mood, is what it is. Is that it? Are you
Yeah,
just
I
out?
don't know. I was thinking about going, and that's my final. That's my final answer.
Okay. Well, before we move on, I have more tea to spill.
Oh God. Okay.
So, I promise not to
Yes,
do this the whole time.
tell me about high school drama. Thank you.
Yes, yes. 1 week after Driver's License came out, Joshua Bassett released a song called Lie, Lie, Lie. A week later, Sabrina Carpenter released a song called Skin. Now, given how much time it takes to write, produce, and make music videos for songs, I'm not going to definitively say that these songs were written in response to Driver's License, but based on some of the lyrics in them and imagery in the videos, both of which include cars and people who look like Joshua and Sabrina, it really seems like they were. And given that Olivia was still a minor at the time and they weren't, it was kind of a bad look for them. Like I don't want to hate Sabrina Carpenter at all for this. It seems like most of it's not even her fault. And honestly, I've heard some of her previous work and I enjoy quite a bit of it. I was planning to listen to her discography at some point, but this whole situation made her look just awful. But it's high school drama, even though
It's High School Musical.
it's High School Musical, the musical, the series, the drama.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
even fucking remember the title. God.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupidly long. Just
Even
add something else to it at the end of it. I think it'd make it
the
a little bit
game.
better, you
Oh,
know?
they
Yeah.
did. They did because they released High School Musical, the series, the soundtrack.
It doesn't get any worse. Wait, I can't wait
um,
for the soundtrack, the movie. There we
the
go.
soundtrack, the movie. They make a jukebox musical based on the soundtrack,
You know
and
what?
then a series based on that.
It's gonna be the world's longest title for a movie.
Oh man,
God,
that's really
fuck.
funny. But yeah, it's high school drama. Even though Sabrina and Joshua are past high school age, it's that sense of like
Nah,
having grown up.
everybody's a kid. Everybody's a kid.
Yeah, because like especially having grown up in like a spotlight as a child or teenage performer and not really having that like normal high school experience, they still have that like petty urge to be spiteful. It still lingers into their late teens and early 20s. And I think that's why everyone is all like, "Oh, I wish I had this album when I was in high school," because it perfectly encapsulates those feelings that like most of us already went through but they are just now experiencing. It's like retroactively relatable.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, if you had a relationship and your first one didn't end in dumpster fire, I don't think this album will appeal to you as much.
Yeah, but if it did, if you did
If
have
it
a
did,
relationship that ended in dumpster fire, oh man,
I mean, yeah,
especially in high
no.
school.
Okay. One thing I'll give this like I'll give this album credit is that this is like a universal topic. Anyone can talk about the breakup, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like something that everybody will get. But why would you want to talk about your breakup when rumors exists?
like the Fleetwood Mac album.
Yes, we have Fleetwood Mac. I think we're good.
Well, I mean, no one can put a
Assuming
copyright on breakup songs.
I know, but if I had a breakup album to go to, it'd be Rumors. The one with
Yeah.
Silver Springs at least because that song is better than whatever the fuck was it? Oh Daddy or whatever.
Okay.
What?
Whatever you
Listen,
say.
this is just my opinion. This is my opinion.
I
Listen,
haven't heard
I'm
the
not
album,
too
so I don't
into
know
the
what you're talking
pop.
about.
I'm not into the pop sphere, you know. I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
That's fine. You don't have to be
Onward.
sorry. I want
Onward.
your brutal, honest opinions. But yeah, I do think it's like what's that different about the songs on this album compared to like a Taylor Swift album or like any or Rumors for God's sake or any album full of breakup songs. And I think the big part of it is because she was 17, because she was at that high school age when these things happened. So it's not just the people in high school who are like, "Oh, I can relate to this now." It's the people who are being like, "Wow, I could have related to this like 5, 10 years ago."
Oh, so you're talking about the people who like peaked in high school.
Not
This is
even
their
that. The
album.
people who crashed and burned in high school
Well, I
and
will
had awful relationship experiences.
crash and burn. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you could still have a. I don't know how much I agree with that actually. But you know what? Onward.
Onward to track 4. One step forward, 3 steps back.
This song got so close to a lyric from "How Do You Sleep" from LCD Sound System, and to that I will say LCD Sound System said it better.
you are you are being brutal.
Listen. I'm telling you, I'm not too big into the pop. Listen, there is something I absolutely loathe in pop production most of the time, and it's like my comment about this is that none of these songs sound like they pop out. They all sound like they're behind plexiglass. Like you can see it,
Mm, yeah.
except you're like from a distance. Like it's like almost like a zoo, and you're just like seeing like behind like a glass like panel. And I feel like that's like how most pop music to me sounds like. It's like, oh, you're looking at it from a distance. And don't get me wrong, like not all pop songs are like this. I do like my fair share of pop. Don't get me wrong. It's just that there's this weird thin production that makes it sound so clean, like, but there's like always that weird sense of distance. Like nothing actually tries to jump out at you. Therefore, making the production of this entire album feel very boring and kind of cliched compared to a bunch of other stuff that plays on the radio, in my opinion.
I I don't know if I agree with that. Hmm. That's I definitely hadn't really thought about that before, but you are right when it does come to a lot of pop music because there's so freaking much of it out there.
They all have
But
that
yeah,
weird certain sound. I don't know how to put it other than that like a weird
yeah.
analogy behind
And I mean, it,
plexiglass.
it does seem like there's a lot of artists who are like revolutionizing pop like nowadays. Like
Yeah.
freaking the stuff Dua Lipa's been doing, the stuff Billie Eilish has been doing.
I would
The,
say that those the way that they were recorded or produced or whatever, those sound fine. I can enjoy that. It doesn't have that same problem that something like this was like would have, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
It definitely like it seems like a lot of these songs are they're good by the standards already set by pop music, but they're not revolutionary for the most part.
Yeah, and I went into this album not expecting anything revolutionary. That's not what I expected at
And
all.
then it hit you
But
with
I was
brutal.
still disappointed because of the way it sounded.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also a debut album.
I mean, it is a
So,
debut album, but a majority of my majority of my problems, I guess, it just boils down to the way it sounds or is recorded. The songwriting's fine. Don't get me wrong. Songwriting's fine for the album. It's just that minor nitpick lasts, unfortunately, the entire album.
well, this song interpolates a piano riff from the song New Year's Day by Taylor Swift from her 2017 album Reputation. Going back to Taylor Swift. And honestly, this one does kind of give me early Billie Eilish vibes, and for the same reason, I want to say it gives me Lord vibes, like the song Liability. I don't know if you know that one, but like I haven't listened to
Nope.
enough Lord to fully back up that statement.
I
But
don't listen to Lord either.
yeah, but I don't know. It just kind of a lot of songs going forward do give me vibes of other pop artists. So
Mm.
I do kind of see what you're saying with that.
Stand. The one thing that stood out to me was when the reverb got like it was fucking the when the word stand was sung, there was like a heavy amount of reverb. And I
On One
started
Step Forward,
yeah.
I'm
And I
trying to
started
specifically remember.
it was I think it was kind of like early mid kind of somewhere around that. And the one thing I started thinking of is like it was unintentionally funny to me because it reminded me of when Tim and Eric recorded a skit for Totino's Pizza Roll. They would use the reverb kind of like that. They would use it to put more emphasis on words, like single words though. One thing I will say about it is that the piano sounds nice in this song.
Yeah, because it's the riff from the Taylor Swift song.
I meant the piano sound, not the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I oh wait, it was a sample from that?
Well, no, it was an interpolation, but I
Oh,
guess I guess it was also produced well.
I meant like the whatever the piano they used, like if it was like a Yamaha or whatever. I didn't
Yeah,
care too much about the notes being played.
yeah.
Yeah.
The second single, released back in April, Deja Vu. I've just been to this place before.
Oh no. All right. I'm ending the podcast early.
No, no, don't do
I'm
that.
out. I'm out. All right.
No, come back.
See ya. Goodbye. I'm
No, come
going
back.
later.
I make one initial D joke, and he leaves.
Initial D. All right. I saw a comment on about this song saying that
About Deja Vu?
yeah, that the vocal lines kind of sound like Radiohead's No Surprises.
Interesting.
Also, Billy Joel.
Also, Billy Joel. I was gonna get into that, but yeah, I love how the song slowly builds over time, getting instrumentally like heavier as it progresses, or just like adding certain instrumentation lines to it, like as it goes. It's kind of like the frustration is like building up. That like all of the things that your ex is doing with their new significant other are the same things that they did with you. Same places, same activities, same Billy Joel songs, same everything.
I will say this about instruments. I too can distort a sine wave for an instrument.
Bruh,
Yeah?
nothing.
All right.
I will say I had no idea that there was a Billy Joel reference on this album when I selected it.
I thought it's kind of funny because it, in a really
Because
roundabout
last
way,
week we did Billy
yeah,
Joel. Like,
yeah.
what if every album we choose somehow connects to the previous one?
You gave my idea.
No, really?
Yes, but also
What?
no. I was gonna do that in jest.
Interesting.
It was just an idea I had.
All right. The third single, track 6, Good For You.
Do you know what I wrote down?
What'd you write down?
Jesus fucking Christ! Why is this all about one person?
Yeah, yeah. It's this is
Wait,
the other what?
wait. I also wrote this. Wait, is this whole album about a teenager's 5 stages of grief?
Yes, yeah, it is.
I I can expect this song to feel a bunch of new age teenagers angst amongst a broken relationship.
Oh yeah,
Weird jangle guitars.
yeah. But that's the thing about this one. It's heavier, like Brutal was, and so it's again shifting the expectations of they're all gonna be like ballad songs,
I
and
just
then
wish
it hits you with this
I wish that the jangle guitars were utilized more
the
instead of just
jangle
that one.
guitars.
The jangly guitars, like, okay, I call it that because they're most likely used in like stuff like I would almost say the Smiths,
The Smiths.
band from the 1980s from the UK,
I see.
fronted by a bigot nowadays.
Nice. I mean, not
But
nice.
yeah, no, the jangly guitars that would be used for about like 2 seconds up until kind of like to lead its way into what is it? I don't even know which
The
part. If it
chorus.
was the chorus, was it the chorus?
I don't know.
Eh, I didn't care enough. But yeah,
This
go
is
on.
the other number one debut on the Billboard Top 100, and it's still a very popular song, as it's still number one on Spotify. I mean, this is a early 2000s pop rock song, pretty much. Like this is like full on Avril Lavigne, and it works, in my opinion, at least. Especially following like the build up from the previous track. It's so bitter and scathing and probably about Joshua Bassett, and it rocks. I love it.
How does it rock if it only uses guitars for like 2 seconds?
He uses guitars in like the whole thing except the verses.
No, it doesn't.
He uses the guitars
It uses
in the
them for a brief
chorus.
moment, and then it uses a bass. What you're hearing is a bass,
Yeah,
not a
in the
guitar.
verses.
Yeah,
It's a
and
good
I don't
chorus.
know. I
I
wouldn't.
can I can picture myself scream singing this song in
In
a
the
car.
shower, late at night,
No,
with a
not in the
wine in
shower.
hand.
In a car.
Live, laugh, love.
You're you're something else today.
Well, you gotta be something else every week. It's gonna be something else every week.
Honestly,
I'm
track
not even
7.
on caffeine.
You're not even on
I'm just
caffeine.
drinking
You're
water.
you're you're the opposite of something else. You're the other something else. Track 7, Enough for You. It's just
And
a nice acoustic ballad, trying to emphasize the struggle of wanting to appear perfect for someone who doesn't seem to notice or care. And then, of course, there's the juxtaposition at the end of the song that says it's impossible to be perfect for this person because nothing is perfect to this person.
what I wrote down. Listen, how the fuck is this one person? And then I also wrote down in brackets, acknowledge that I am a hypocrite. Yeah.
How are you a
Okay.
hypocrite?
How am I a hypocrite? I'm recording an EP that is literally basically about one person.
That's right, you are. Well,
So I also said this. Okay, so far this album boils down to, yeah, shitty people exist, but this is also the whole album. And I also wrote down, I'd rather listen to After Laughter because that was more interesting and it wasn't just about a single person.
I don't know what After Laughter is.
After Laughter is by Paramore. It was released in, I
Oh,
believe, 2018?
but yeah, you can
2017,
you
2018, I don't know.
you can be the next Olivia Rodrigo.
No, I won't. I'm never blunt. No, I'd probably be closer to maybe like Tom York's like in a lyrical way.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I think this one's kind of forgettable compared to the rest of the album,
I'm gonna
and
tell you this.
that's yeah.
I don't even remember the album anymore. It all
You
just
don't.
blended. It all blended into each other.
I can imagine how that would happen. Although I listened to it 3 times, so
Well,
it doesn't as much.
I only listened to it once.
You did only listen to it once. But yeah, Enough for You is a little bit forgettable in my opinion. But track 8, Happier, moving
Oh
from an
boy!
oh
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 boy! You know my favorite part about it is when they
what?
copy Tame Impala and they use that fucking fuzz on that guitar, and it just sounds like something that Tame Impala would like sound like.
Is there guitar on this song?
Yeah, it was a fuzz on the guitar.
I thought this was a piano ballad.
I think you're thinking about Jealousy.
No. Happier is a piano ballad. Jealousy's not a ballad at all.
Well, I wrote down. I listened to the album. I'm pretty sure there's a guitar.
There might be. I don't know. I like this
Don't
one a lot.
worry. Don't worry. Here. Don't worry. Go pull it. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Okay.
For me,
Yeah.
it's fine. I like Happier a lot because there's something that's like painfully honest about it. You know, it's not like the other songs that are all like, oh, I'm upset that my ex is in a new relationship so fast, but oh well. This song is more, I hope you're happy in your new relationship, but not as happy as you were with me. You know, it's a selfish feeling, and you know she admits that in the song, but those selfish feelings are exactly what you would feel in a situation like that. Like Good for You is really sarcastic about the new relationship, but this one isn't. It says exactly what she's feeling, and I think it's brilliant.
I was more trying to find that spot on the song because
I
I
think
was like, I was thinking, yeah, it has to be in that song. So right now, I'm actually playing it back to find that spot because I don't want it to seem like, what the fuck? Did I write this down on a different? Was it meant for like a different song? I am
Are
scared.
you sure you're not thinking of Enough for You? Because Enough for You is an acoustic guitar ballad.
Well, it's an electric guitar that's used, so it can't just be like an acoustic. Oh my god, is that 1 minute? I'm not fucking
It's
crazy.
at 1 minute. Hold
It's
on.
at 1 minute. I'm not fucking kidding. Okay, here, listen. You fucking listen to this. I'm not fucking crazy.
Okay, hold on. Yes, okay.
And
Yes,
then
it does do
and then
that right at the end of the chorus.
you know that whole thing reminds me of this intro. Like, listen,
Yes, it's the same guitar sound.
that was exactly what I was noting.
Yes, but it didn't
Okay,
copy it just because it's the same. Like, there's only
I
so
know, but
many.
I'm pointing it out because it feels like a cliche at this point. Because I feel like Tame Impala had like literally made it fucking popular because of this one album, Currents, and now everybody wants to have like a chunk of that sound somewhere. You know,
Okay, whatever you say, man.
these are
Track
hot takes.
9. I
Hot
admit I
takes.
was wrong. Track 9, Jealousy, Jealousy.
Finally, something else.
Yeah?
Kids aren't a good thing to care about.
Oh my god.
There's that lead again, the
Oh
one
my
with the
god.
sine wave and distortion. There's a way that this I feel like this would work better as a like an actual alternative rock song instead of it being like focused on pop or whatever. I feel like this could have been recorded very differently and it could also sounded potentially better too if it was recorded differently. And the guitar returns as a background element.
You know what I think?
What?
I kind of agree with you on this. I
I
like it, but it's also a little forgettable, especially as another at least attempt at being a heavier song than most of the other songs on the album.
feel like it would work. I'm thinking when I was like thinking about it when I was listening to this, I was like thinking like if it was in the style like Spoon, which is an alternative rock band, if it was
Yes.
recorded kind of in the style of Spoon, then this would be a lot better actually.
Yeah. I also think that this song, I don't know. I feel like it could use something as a little improvement because I feel like it tries to be heavier like Good for You and brutal, but it never really moves past, like Lord vibes.
Yeah, I feel like it's still too light. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like the message though about comparison culture and how like everyone's trying to compare people to each other and compare themselves to like ideal beauty standards on social media and whatnot. But I also feel like that's a message that other songs have done better.
well, what's a good example?
I don't know. I was hoping you wouldn't ask. But I just feel like I've heard a lot of other songs that are like, don't compare yourself to like ideal beauty standards and just be your damn beautiful self.
Mm.
It's all the girl power songs. Like it's like you're beautiful. Don't listen to other people. You're beautiful, which is a good message. It's just
I
been
feel
done
like
a
maybe
lot.
Beyonce may have done
Oh,
something like that
I'm
before.
sure at least once. But don't get me wrong, it's still good and it fits with the themes of the album, teenage angst. But it just doesn't do a lot for me compared
Mm.
to Good for You and Brutal. Track 10, Favorite Crime, another acoustic ballad.
I I enjoyed this one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Even though I've been saying that all the other songs have been slow, this one's slow. But it was kind of like a different side instead of mostly complaining.
I oh, okay. I wrote that honestly at this point I was kind of tired of songs like this. Like the energy of the album keeps going like up and down and up and down. And while the songs work pretty well individually, it gets a little bit exhausting when there's so many ballads.
I I agree with that. I feel like the one time that the slow ballad song worked was actually closer towards the end. Like I think the last three songs work as like a collective unit.
Last three songs. Interesting. See, I
That's
would
just my
say
opinion.
the start of it works a lot better. But yeah.
Okay, if I had to choose what I'd have in the album, I'll get to that later actually.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
But yeah, like if this was an album full of ballads, that would be one thing. But because of the full on like rock songs thrown in every now and then, it just kind of makes me want more of them. But I do think this song picks up more towards the end, like after the bridge. And if the whole song had that kind of energy, I would probably like it more. It's still well written though, but I would probably appreciate it more if it were earlier on the album.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then the final track, track 11, Hope You're Okay.
You know what I wrote down?
What'd you write down?
Discount Lord.
I think it's a great closing track for the album because
Finally.
every other song up to this point has been about her experiences, her relationships, all her, and that's good because that's what the album is meant to convey. It's supposed to be very personal, but then there's this song that's not about her, but about people she used to know, people who don't have the best relationships with their families because of their sexualities and struggled a lot growing up because of it, and just giving them one message: you're not alone. I hope you're doing okay. And that's I think it's beautiful,
The message
especially after an album where every song seems to be about this one straight relationship that's supposed to be relatable to everyone around her age. She makes it no longer about herself, or even no longer about people who are exactly like her in sexuality, gender, socioeconomic status, life experience, whatever. This last song just completely breaks open the inclusivity on the album.
the message is there,
Yeah.
and I'm glad for it. But I felt like as an ending track, this was very lukewarm.
Mm.
Because while I get the message is there, it's very empowering. Musically, it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't go as far as it
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
It's like
But
a very like if you wanted to create a memorable moment, I feel like one of one of the best advices I've heard was like to have like a beginning, middle, and an end.
yeah.
I know it isn't for everybody. I
Like,
get
oh my
that.
god, imagine if it started with Brutal and ended for good with Good for You and put every all the ballads just in the middle.
Then nobody would listen to it.
Mm.
I feel like that would get people bored because the track listing, you like think about it
Yeah.
like this. If you put all the ballads, like people would use it as like a nighttime nursery rhyme or whatever fucking CD.
Interesting.
And then they'll wake up for the last track and they'll be bothered.
Yeah. I guess it is good that it keeps the up and down of the energy, but
The My
you
biggest
know.
issue with like that up and down energy though is that it's completely inconsistent with like how the lows are in terms of the ballads.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
know what I also wrote? Finally, we're past the five stages of grief,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and
The song
it only took 40 minutes roughly.
not even. The song's 35 minutes long.
Pretend I said 35 minutes.
I'm not pretending you said 35
I said
minutes.
35 minutes. Here we are. Roughly 35 minutes. There you go.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, by the way, I did not like the guitar tone. The guitar tone that was used like in the beginning and then throughout, I did not like it. I don't think it. It sounded very good.
But
I
yeah,
mean, it fit with the song, but I personalized, personal nitpick.
yeah.
I just
I
didn't
like
like
Hope
it.
You're Okay, and yeah, maybe musically it doesn't go anywhere for a closing track, but I feel like if it was anywhere else in the album, it'd be like that's kind of weird. How suddenly there's a song about a different situation. I
Why
feel
wasn't
like
this the first track of the other album? Like, if this would be a great first track for another album.
oh, for
Like,
like her second album,
yeah, like this would,
Spicy.
because like I get it, thinking about yourself, you're selfish. This is the selfish album, and you
Well,
tack
that's the
on
point.
like half-hearted, like, well, I wouldn't say it's half-hearted, but like musically in the context of the album, it feels very half-hearted in the sense that the whole rest of the album is about being selfish, and then now you want to talk about inclusivity. I feel like that would have been
Hmm.
better if like the A side was like all about yourself at that point, like
Like
you're being selfish.
more variety in subject matter.
Yeah, I feel like B sides should be for like exploring things about things other than yourself.
Yeah,
You can only be an
maybe.
asshole for so long.
Yeah, I mean, she's not being an asshole.
I know, I know. I
She's
mean, I
just
mean,
being
I mean
a bitter
like right, like
teenager,
from the.
and
I
rightfully
shouldn't say
so.
that. I
Well,
meant
no,
from
I mean
like.
that's literally the point.
Oh
Is
yeah, I
that
know.
teenage
People being
angst,
assholes.
the bitter pettiness of that whole Joshua Bassett Sabrina Carpenter situation, and like it's justified, and like that's what people want to hear. Like clearly, the album's doing well because people want to hear this stuff.
Or the album's doing good because a bunch of 14-year-olds who are now finally realizing what relationships aren't are now listening to it.
Well, but it's also
I
people
mean,
our
there are.
age who are into it.
You're right, because nobody has their shit together, and nobody will.
Nobody has their shit together. Exactly.
Yep.
Final thoughts on the album.
My negatives: slow song, weirdly preachy. All these songs have like this
Preachy.
low to rise, like a low to like rise, like voice lines. Like it's like and sound like that. Or the boom
That was
drums, like the
beautiful.
slow drums. Like why? Like they're all very prominent, and that's what I noted.
Mm. Well, I already expressed how I think the energy is a little bit all over the place. Maybe Brutal and Good for You could have been further apart on the album, but overall, I'm really impressed with it as a debut album. I feel like generally, as shown by most of this, I'm really bad at being critical of pop albums. Like, unless there's something I really don't like about a song, the worst thing I can say something about is it's too generic.
You
But
tried.
I don't think anything on this album entirely comes off as too generic. I think it's very fresh, and even if some of it is reminiscent of other artists like Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift, still feels unique from other artists who are trying to mimic their styles. Like I feel like
I
the people who are trying to be Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish are making worse music than Olivia Rodrigo is.
I will say this for a first album, this is a lot better than the average.
I'm glad you say that.
The other thing is that I wrote down, because this is a breakup album. I'm saying this again in case I have said it earlier. This is a breakup album. This could literally apply to anyone, and I suppose this will be this generation's rumors.
Yeah, probably. Honestly,
I also wrote this album was okay, but I can expect 21 Forever to play these songs until someone else shows up.
that's good.
This
Well,
album wasn't for me, but because we swap albums every week, I have to listen to it.
you're being so mean.
Anyway, go listen to the chain for an extremely condensed version of this album. It'll save you time if you're like me.
You know what? You get to pick the album next week, and you can get me back for it. But like, God. Well, every song on this album is going in my pop music playlist, so I liked it.
Mm, I
Now,
know it is.
if it was an album full of songs in the style of Brutal and Good for You, I would dig the shit out of that.
If it was recorded better, maybe.
Yeah, but that would have defeated the point of the album.
I meant like if there was actual
No,
character in.
not it being recorded better. I mean,
Oh,
if it was full of songs like that, that would have defeated the point. If I really wanted that, I could just listen to an Alanis Morissette album or something.
I don't even know who that is.
You
But
don't know
okay.
Alanis Morissette?
Oh wait. 1990s old.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I know.
I was about to say I'm gonna have to frickin' pick
No.
an
No.
Alanis
Oh
Morissette
God.
album soon.
I just remembered because of the yelling and yodeling.
Yeah. By
Yeah.
the way, do you want more tea?
How much is left?
It's very little.
Okay, fine.
Turns
What
out,
the fuck is about spilling tea? Why can't you
turn
just like drink it? Why? Fucking drink the tea, not fucking spill it. Well, you're just wasting good tea. This isn't fucking the Boston Tea Party. Jeez. Fuck. Alright.
You're- Turns out, oh my god, that got me. It turns out, a few weeks before the album came out, Joshua Bassett revealed that he's a member of the LGBTQ plus community.
Assholes come in all shapes and colors.
Right? I don't know if he's bi or
Someone's
queer
gonna
or
get me
what,
for that one day.
but that's just the icing on the cake of the whole situation. I think. I think that just makes it that much better. The whole
Mm.
thing. Oh man, that was something. That was brutal. Well,
Oh god, my opinion will probably get me killed one day.
no, you're just
No.
being honest, and I also think that I like how you were more focused on like the actual instrumentation and production of it. I was a lot more lyrically focused on it and like I guess
I'm
vocally, but
I'm not really big on lyrics because most of the time, but like I feel like the lyrics for me are very like surface level. Majority of people, like the common people, will probably listen to it and they'll probably take something. For me, like the lyrics did get to me at one point, and that was probably Favorite Crime, which is why I said I
yeah,
enjoyed it despite. And that was when I thought the instrumentation and the lyrics actually worked together for once, instead of like being it very the shallow kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's just something I can pass off.
yeah. Well, it's good. It's good that we have differences in opinions. I
Yeah,
don't
this is
think you.
gonna be this whole podcast every
Yeah,
week.
hopefully.
Come by
I
next week to find out what other things I'll complain about.
yes. So, music recommendations.
I was talking about this earlier. Eve Toomer, Jackie, and I'm gonna also say that yes, this is a breakup song. But I'm more biased. I'm biased and more compelled to this song. Its production, its production is equally as polished as this song, but there's still characteristics of it that kind of stand out, that make it a little bit more than just a generic song. I'm not really too big on the production either, because again, it is still very much kind of similar to this, but it's still Eve Toomer, and Eve Toomer's stuff is still really fucking good.
Nice.
That's my recommendation.
Well, my rec is Every Time I Cry by Ava Max. She had my favorite album of last year, and she's already back to releasing absolute bangers. It's very good. It's another pop song, so if you don't like pop music like Andrew here, then don't listen to it. But if you do like pop music, listen to it, because Ava Max is constantly putting out catchy bangers. That concludes the second episode of On a Friday.
Come back
Next
next
week,
week for a much more disappointing episode.
what? No, don't. You're picking the album next week. Don't say that about yourself.
Oh no, I'm saying that about the album.
Have you already decided what it's gonna be?
No, I was just joking.
Oh,
No, I'm joking. No, come back next week for hopefully much more. A little bit. Drink your tea next time, please.
okay.
I can't
I'll
come
drink.
up
I'll
with
drink
anything.
my tea. I mean, if there is any
No more
tea,
tea spilling.
if there is any
Fuck
tea,
that.
you'll be the one who brings it. So,
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We only have Earl Grey. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself.